Welcome, everybody, to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean. Carolyn is amazing. She's a doctor, she's a naturopath, she's an herbalist, she's an acupuncturist. She's going to tell you exactly what she would do if she were in your shoes. I can't think of a person who has devoted more time to helping people's health than Dr. Carolyn Dean. She can make a huge difference as you listen to her words of wisdom. We know she's ahead of time because she is the doctor of the future. Welcome, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Carolyn. How are ya?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting here with the backdrop is one of my Hawaiian rugs, and it matches my shirt. It's amazing.
That is amazing. You are such a colorful and vibrant person. And it comes out on every single show. For those of you watching us live for the first time, you are watching Dr. Carolyn Dean, really a legend in the natural health circle. She is a founder of her own company. She is an author of the best-selling book, The Magnesium Miracle, and really did teach the world about magnesium supplementation. Everybody that you're quoting about magnesium learned it from Dr. Dean. They didn't have diddly squat of an idea what it was until she wrote her legendary book. And then, of course, she has been on top of the trends and the topics and all the fads and the fake news for 1,000 years. And she is here to break it all down, what is really required at a cellular level for your health, vitality, and well-being, how you can get it, and what other strategies you can use for yourself and your family to extend your life force energy and to extend your well-being. So welcome, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Thank you, Jenny. So I don't know, is there anything to say? Do you have anything to say about your circumstances right now?
My circumstances are fantastic. And the thing I think that just inspires me the most is when I see all of the testimonials coming through and all of our wonderful viewers coming on the chat line, like my good friend Alan, and we've got Robin, and we've got Sonia, and we've got, of course, Melody Rose here running the chat. Savvy's here tweeting out everything, and we are ready to go.
Okay, awesome. And I'm doing a lot of inputting on X recently. Yeah, it was you, Jenny. You showed me how I can quote someone and then criticize them, and it goes under my Dr. Carolyn Dean feed, and it's really fun. So if you want to follow me, I mean, sometimes I'm doing like 6-8 tweets or whatever X's a day. It's really, I mean, I enjoy it.
Very good.
I enjoy telling people what's right. I enjoy correcting people. I think that's what I would say, because there's so much, seriously, there's so much misinformation out there. And I guess this is not my rant, but I'm going to say, I guess what really bothers me about a lot of what's going on in social media, everyone going rah, 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 this and that, and I've been around long enough that I've done all those things, and I know that it's a distraction from doing the basics. And what I did with all my decades of research and research on myself, biohacking, I was the original biohacker. I put together the program that everybody should be on, and you don't have to keep searching. So that's the message we're trying to get out to people.
Yes, very good. Everything building blocks for cellular health.
Yeah.
Everything one handy place, fully absorbed, stabilized mineral ions. The body does not use compounds and food-based vitamins, and it doesn't get any more pure and healthy and wealthy and holy and wise or anything than that, right, Carolyn?
Happy, holy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. So here's the mini rant. I'm listening to the All In podcast. It's called this one, Supercharging a New FDA with Science, Power, and Patience. So this all-in-one guy was interviewing the new head of the FDA, Dr. Marty McCary. And to start, they're promoting science, then it's power, which is the power of money from Big Pharma. Patience came last. You've got to watch the wording of these things. It tells you everything. And then you got to listen to what they say. So McCary was in San Francisco for the 44th annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. It was held January 12th to 15th, so just a few days ago. Okay, what does that tell you? JP Morgan, banking, money, okay. Medicine, they make money off sick people and drug. 44 years, has it improved the health of the population for JP Morgan to be holding these big rallies every year? Seriously, people are getting sicker and sicker, which seems to be what they want. This seems to be the program, the protocol, make people sicker so that they come to the doctors more often, pay the doctors their salaries, pay for their drugs. The insurance companies, they're part of it as well. Anyway, this event is the largest and most influential healthcare, it's not healthcare, it's disease promotion investment symposium in the industry, connecting global industry leaders. Our disease is an industry for these people. Emerging fast growth companies, innovative technology creators, and members of the investment community. There were, they said, 120,000 people there. When I did health conferences, true alternative medicine health conferences where we wanted people to get healthy, there would be like a couple of hundred. I don't think I ever saw 1,000 people. But anyway, you got to see what's happening here. The conference focuses on various themes, including multi-billion-dollar mergers and acquisition deals, oncology, big business, yeah, neuropsychology, big business, all the Alzheimer's and dementia, hematology breakthroughs, I don't know, blood diseases, you know, the leukemias and Hodgkin's lymphoma type things, and AI in drug discovery. They're using AI to search out drugs. I talked about that last week. And diagnostics, that's another focus, and virtual care. So your disease and distress is a global industry worthy of attention by the investment community. So on the particular podcast, McCary talked about lowering drug costs and how wonderful it was that Ozempic costs less than $1,300 a week now. And it's being studied for use in 60 different conditions. So that, he said that, while at the same time, there's multi-billion-dollar lawsuits against the drug makers, but that's the odds these drug companies actually will take, because if they're going to make trillions and only have to pay out billions in lawsuits, then they're still ahead. There was talk about lowering the drug testing time to get the new biologics, which I hate, and generic biosimilars out to patients faster. So these injectable drugs, they're what's increasing insurance drug costs. People wouldn't even know how much these drugs cost unless it was so outrageous about the $1,300 a week. And that's one of the things, you don't know the cost of hospital care, because the bill sort of gets sent down the chute toward the insurance companies who increases, what they charge. So this business about cost transparency really has to be looked at, and probably never will. Basically, I heard nothing about alternative therapies or vitamins, minerals for cellular building blocks that prevent disease. They did talk about diet. See, that's what they're doing now. It's diet, get rid of the dyes, and maybe eat more organic food. But they just don't. They haven't found it within themselves to go into vitamins and minerals. It's because most doctors, we never learned about them in medical school. I learned about them in my naturopathic training. So they'll pretend they're working on the health of the kids in the future. For example, with the new food pyramid, they're emphasizing more protein and less grains, and that will help. But man, they're avoiding everything that we're doing, basically. And the thing is, they put these health changes on Maha's plate, Make America Healthy Again, which has no regulatory authority. There's the Office of Alternative Medicine, and one time I went to Office of Alternative Medicine conference in Washington, and they told me that, no, we don't do anything about preventing disease. We just make sure people are taking the RDA of nutrients. And, I love to talk about the RDA for vitamin C is 90 milligrams, 90 milligrams. And I know we should be taking 5 to 10 grams. There's nothing about the fact that half the FDA budget comes from drug company user fees that monitor drug trials. And I know someone who I thought worked for the FDA, but then her mom told me that she's directly paid by the drug companies. So isn't that a bit of a conflict of interest? You're not going to bite the hand that feeds you when you're regulating their drugs. So I hope you get the picture. I know most of my listeners will, but maybe new listeners, you got to get the picture that we're on our own. Your only line of defense against this health industry that's not serious about helping patients, but very serious about making money. Your only line of defense is to stay as doggone healthy as you possibly can, because getting sick is what they want you to do. So that's you fighting back. I'm going to stay healthy, so you're not going to make money off me. To stay as healthy as possible, you want to be on all our formulas, create your own beautiful life. The sunshine, the walking, the stretching, the eating good organic foods, and make a farmer your best friend, and maybe stay off social media as much as you can. So there you go, Ginny, the rant of the week. What do you say?
Well, that was a doozy.
Mhm.
I guess it's just really disheartening, Carolyn. As a pastor in my background, I'm supposed to see people in their worst state and their best state. I'm supposed to see them how, supposedly Jesus sees them, right? Where you see somebody who's not doing well, and then you can see this elevated person.
Yeah.
And so I always wanted to believe the best.
Mm-hmm.
But with the evidence you just presented here, I think it is kind of almost obvious that they are really after your disease.
Mm-hmm.
They're not interested in your health at all. They assume your disease.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very unfortunate system.
It is.
And yeah, Bob was telling me his newest phrase that he got, I don't know who he got it from, was we are not a serious country.
Mm-mm.
We
Yeah.
are not a serious medical
Mm.
establishment if we're not serious about helping people with their health.
Mhm.
We are helping people to get sick.
Yes.
in the food industry, they've been complicit. Everybody's working on that, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, apparently they want to support organic farming, and they put $700 million into the bucket. I mean, that is just a drop. We just do what we do. So, yeah, take care of yourselves, hang out with us. We have your back, and stay healthy. That's all we can do.
Yeah. And yeah, make health a priority. Yeah, it's incredible. Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, what's next?
What's next? Something good, I hope.
Okay. The library, I guess it's kind of the missing link book, Magnesium, the missing link to total health. And that's where you start with your Remag. And this week's blog, which is at drcarolyndean.com. And it's basically about winter immunity. And the blog, I start out talking about there's been more than 1 million online searches for natural flu remedies so far this winter, reflecting a growing interest in immune resilience and flu prevention beyond one-size-fits-all drug solutions. More people are beginning to question whether seasonal immune health can truly be reduced to a single annual intervention. And I'm talking about a jab. The immune system isn't something you boost once a year in reaction to fear or seasonal messaging about the fear of the flu. It's built or eroded daily at the cellular level. So the body has an innate capacity to heal and defend itself when it has the proper building blocks. And central among them is magnesium, remineralization, and targeting a targeted nutrient support restores balance at the cellular level. If you're getting sick repeatedly, the issue may not be viral exposure, but cumulative nutrient depletion. And for me, it's sugar overload. Magnesium is foundational. It activates 800 enzyme systems involved in immune function, inflammation control, stress regulation, mitochondrial energy production, and detoxification. Then there's our multiple mineral Remite, 12 different mineral ions with zinc supporting immune signaling and tissue integrity. Selenium contributes to antioxidant defenses and thyroid-related immune function. Iodine plays a role in regulation and balance of the immune system. Together, they help maintain an effective immune response. There's gut integrity. 70 to 80% of immune activity is tied to the gut. And I talk all the time about yeast overgrowth. I get sick when I eat a lot of sugar, which stimulates my yeast population. And then all the 78 different yeast toxins, they divert the immune system from taking care of viruses because they have to take care of these yeast toxins. So for yeast overgrowth, every day I'm taking my Flora Revive and Pico Silver to keep the yeast population in check. And I'm sometimes asked what I recommend for parasites, and the best treatment is preventing yeast overgrowth, which makes the intestinal environment unattractive to parasites. And then there's vitamin C that supports antioxidant defenses and builds collagen, which is critical for tissue and vascular integrity. I'm going through all the nutrients here. Vitamin D is often deficient during winter months because we're supposed to get it from the sun, and we don't in the winter. And it functions more like a hormone than a vitamin, influencing the expression of around 100 genes, some of which help with immune regulation. And crucially, vitamin D requires adequate magnesium for its absorption, metabolism, and activation. And then, of course, I talk about stress and poor sleep, which affect the immune system, making us vulnerable during seasonal changes. And I brought this up in the beginning, but you can get sick from fear-based disease marketing. When you know that there's a whole global investment industry that wants to make us sick, then you're going to hear fear-based disease messaging. So when they insist that, oh, this is the worst flu season in 10 years in order to promote you getting a jab, remember that you have taken care of your immune system and you are not susceptible. When your cells are nourished, your immune system knows exactly what to do. And I'll do some what do I call them, hacks and tips later on about what to do for if the virus breaks through and gives you flu symptoms. I'll tell you what to do. That was almost poetic, Jenny. Get back here and save me.
That's great. Yes, it was very poetic. It's all very true. I'm glad we're going to hear more hacks from you because the blogs are fantastic. And you do really want to go get that blog. Please read it in detail because there's a lot of information there for you, but also share it with someone, because people are, again, making all these inquiries into social media and through the Googler or X or ChatGTP or whoever they're talking to now, trying to get a handle on their health. Share this on your own social media for us so that we can help people really acquire what they need in order to be safe and successful this flu season.
Mhm.
Now, Carolyn, one question that Sonia asked earlier, but kind of relates to this is you mentioned about the RDA being 90 grams of vitamin C.
90 milligrams.
90 milligrams. What is your recommended dose for daily vitamin C intake if you have a health and maintenance and you just want to maintain and promote your immune system?
I'd say 5,000 milligrams, and you can get that with 2 scoops of our vitamin C reset powder plus 2 to 4 of our whole C reset capsules, which are a food-based vitamin C. And then if your doctor pulls you aside and starts talking about, well, you've got all this atherosclerosis and blockage and, we've got to do stents on you and all the rest of it. We just heard about a stent story. That's why I'm kind of grinning a bit. Then you go up to 10 grams, 10,000 milligrams, and you add some lysine and proline in case they're trying to tell you, well, it's your lipoprotein A that's at fault, because you'll find that the cholesterol bandwagon has, sort of pulled themselves up a bit, and they're saying, well, actually, LDL doesn't look like the bad guy anymore. It's lipoprotein A. Let's go after that. Think about lipoprotein A. It does not respond to statins. So this is interesting. And actually, people say that lipoprotein A gets worse when you're on statins. But Linus Pauling 50 years ago was working with high dose ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and lysine. And later on, I don't know how many years later, Dr. Matthias Rath, R-A-T-H, came along and said proline would help as well with lipoprotein A. So that's my recommendation. And people with heart disease and who want to look at Linus Pauling's work, until my vitamin C book is out, because I'll have all the information there. But in the meantime, you can read a book, I guess it's probably 20, 30 years old now, called Practicing Medicine Without a License by Owen Fonarow. So there.
Now, David's saying, how does a person handle all the vitamin C in their gut digestively? What is your experience with that, Carolyn?
Well, if it's in our vitamin C, we put in potassium as a buffer. If you, so usually most people find it works well for them as they drink it through the day. If you take all 4 grams in one of our scoops. If you drink it down, it could irritate. If you drink that with a meal, it should be okay. But if you sip it through, not sip it, but you gulp it through the day, you should be fine. I'm taking 10 grams just to, see what that feels like. And I add a quarter to a half a teaspoon of a sodium bicarbonate of soda. And that alkalizes the acidity. So millions, I would say, millions of people have taken high dose vitamin C and done it without problem.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. And then also, David had a question for you, Carolyn, and that question was, this is a separate topic. Has there any research been done specifically for probiotics that would support dental health? He's interested in improving his dental health with probiotics.
I'm sure there is. They've gone crazy on, probiotics help everything, but I don't know if any. And I don't, when I first heard about the probiotic research, they were saying, well, lactobacillus, acidophilus, and bifidus, they're the most important ones. But it turned out they were the ones that most often showed up in stool samples. So it really didn't mean that they were the best to replace with, because then all the products became lactobacillus and bifidus. And that's why I got involved with soil-based probiotics. That's why we used humic fulvic in our yeast Flora Revive, because they have their soil-based bacteria there. So being that there are probably thousands, if not, tens of thousands of different organisms, to try to identify one or two and give a lot of those, like, 20 billion of this and 50 billion of that throws the body off too. So that's where the best way to get your probiotics is with fermented foods and sauerkrauts, yogurts. I mean, there's a yogurt that I'm trying out right now, actually. It's called Cocojune, Cocojune, and it's made from coconut milk. And I'm trying to grow it myself. And they have 5 or 6 different organisms. At least it's not just 1 or 2. So just play with it. What else is there? Kimchi, yogurts that say live culture. So I think that's my answer. I don't go for single organisms. When I was, there's a soil-based one that we used to recommend, but then that particular one went out of business or something, and there were like 12 soil-based organisms, and I really enjoyed that one. But I think I should stop talking now. I've talked myself into a little circle, a little deep, dark hole.
There you go. Well, our probiotic is Flora Revive. It's at rnareset.com. David, if you're not taking it, you might want to give it a whirl. I know, Carolyn, you're very aggressive about speaking about vitamin C for gum health as well. And what other products would you think might support gum health and dental health in general?
Well, the Pico Silver, rinsing your mouth with Pico Silver to get rid of the organisms that make dental cavities or that irritate the mucous membranes. But yeah, vitamin C for the collagen for the mucous membranes, Pico Silver, even zinc and copper. But the big thing about the gum tissue really is you do have to floss. Yeah. You do have to floss every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or water pick. I got a water pick for Christmas, and I'm telling you, I am obsessed with that thing. Obsessed.
I know. You can brush your teeth, and do it all, floss, and then you water pick and more stuff appears.
It's unreal. I feel like I'm hitting the jackpot I actually feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah.
Come and look, Greg. Look what it came.
It's not that bad, but it's close. No, I really do love it. So, all right, very good. We are going to keep pressing on. Thanks for bringing in all the questions. Carolyn, what should we talk about next?
Well, there's more questions and comments. Here's a review on our wonderful RNA Reset website, where you can all go and leave your wonderful reviews to help educate new customers. This one's about Pico Silver. So Sonia says, I've been using Pico Silver for 3 years now. It has done wonders for my health. I use it in my ears. I also keep 2 small spray bottles in my purse, one for my nostrils and one for my mouth and one for hands. I use them both before I visit stores or in large crowds to keep from getting the heebie-jeebies. This has kept me healthy and will always be part of my routine. So that's the way to use it. Awesome. Review on Pico Pets for Pico Mite. Daniela says, this Pico Mite is a must for my 2 dogs. They're both very active, and Pico Mite definitely keeps them more hydrated and energized. I have seen better results with this supplement as compared to other brands that I've used. And a review for Remag. I've been using Remag for years. I'm pleased that I can increase the dose without a change in bowel activity. So she's saying it does not cause a laxative effect. This is important, as I seem to need high doses at times. And then of our cellular defense trio. So Ginny, what would that be? Silver, zinc. What's in our silver defense bucket?
I think it's probably vitamin D. Let me look at our bundles, which are on our website, and it's probably one of our bundles.
It's a bundle.
I think it's probably D and C. And
well, she says, I pour them all into my daily liter of water with the sea salt, and my life rolls smoothly. And I can climb mountains metaphorically and literally, physically, and yes, even administrative mountains.
It's definitely Pico, Silver, Remite, and Remag. So it's the 3 minerals.
Awesome. Okay, she's getting the Remag for so many other things and the Remite for so many other things as well. And of the omegas, now I haven't seen people talk about the omegas, and someone says that there's no parallel anywhere. And I think it's because omegas from us, omega-3 algae, they're not contaminated with heavy metals or heavily processed to remove heavy metals from fish oil omegas, because they come from algae, which is the food that fish eat to make their omegas, and then we steal their livers. So we start with that source. And it means our company is not depleting the krill population that feeds our Maui humpback whales. So those are the questions and comments. Will I keep going?
I think we should. Yes, we'll keep going and circle back to a couple questions later in the show. I'm excited to hear about your cold and flu hacks.
Okay. Yes, because I'm not going to Rachel, I'm jumping over pros and cons of supplements, drugs, and research, because I think I slayed the whole nutrition research investment group in the mini rant. So helpful hacks. The height of flu season, I looked it up. It's between December and February. So here we are in January, the peak of the peak. And I talked about how to keep your immune system strong to prevent getting sick. But what can you do when you do start to get sick? So a preventive measure that I use is spraying with Flora Refresh. Now, go to this to see if people can see. So that's Flora Refresh, and it's we call it a refill spraying, and you put it in a little bottle and just spray yourself. And it smells great and it feels great. It probably helps your skin too. So I do that just like our previous customer said she sprays Pico Silver. The Flora Refresh has silver in it. So it's got Pico Silver, aloe vera juice. What else? It's got some of our Remag as well, lemon verbena, and some Pico zinc. So it's got a lot of good stuff. So there's that. And then you can, if you get a little tickle in your throat, right away, go to Pico Silver. Maybe I'm not supposed to be talking about products, but anyway, this is what I do. I'll take a teaspoon every 1 to 2 hours, up to 6 teaspoons of Pico Silver. You can put the teaspoon in a couple of ounces of water, gargle and swallow. And you can also put Pico Silver straight in a little handheld nebulizer and breathe in the Pico Silver to clear your sinuses of any viruses or infection. So that's the hack. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but it's good to emphasize it. So let's take those questions, Ginny, before we go to the articles.
Very good. Diana Orlando would like to know she's working with the toenail fungus and using Pico Silver orally, and how long would it be before she would expect to see an improvement?
Now I think we talked about some toenail fungus or foot fungus. I'd be also, and she may be putting a clay Pico Silver combination, wrapping the toenail at night, or one of those. I think, yeah, you can get something in the drugstore. It's like a little balloon that you can put over a little appendage with your clay and Pico Silver on it. But you have to put something directly on the infection.
Very good. Excellent. And let's see, what else do we have here? I think how can vitamin C be taken on an empty stomach?
With the baking soda, if you find it acidic, if you're taking it and if it seems acidic, then you just grab your baking soda and start with a 1/4 teaspoon. I have Bob taking 10 grams of vitamin C. I'm taking 5 grams. So I put 1 whole teaspoon in his ascorbic acid.
Okay, very good. So you just have to play with balancing out the acids. In general, if you're using the vitamin C reset powder and you're putting your minerals in and you start to drink it first thing in the morning, then of course it might be on an empty stomach. But it's not intended to pound 10 grams of vitamin C at one time. It's intended to circulate through your system throughout the day. You want to keep nutrients in play. You want to keep them active in your system as much as possible. Yeah. Okay, very good. I think that's it.
Okay, back to the first study is associations of dietary mineral intakes with the risk of 6 common mental disorders, a prospective cohort study. So, I mean, this is something we've talked about over the years with the company up in Canada, truehope.com. And they use high dose vitamins and minerals. We tell people to also take some of our stabilized Pico meter stabilized ion minerals as well. But we've known this for a long, long time. True Hope has done a lot of research, dozens of clinical trials with their combination. But now this is a new study that finds links between dietary mineral intake and mental health risk. A large-scale study identified associations between certain minerals and the likelihood of developing common mental health conditions. So I didn't look at exactly how they did this study. Often they'll do diet surveys and see what people are taking and follow them, get them to do a diet survey every 6 months or a year, and then see how many develop mental illness, and then compare that to what they've been taking. So it's like they say, it's just a cohort study following a group of people. So they found individuals with higher intakes of iron, selenium, and manganese were less likely to be diagnosed with certain mental disorders over time. But they found that high calcium intake increased the likelihood of depression and anxiety. And that's kind of creepy when you think of the main mineral that most doctors have been pushing for the past 25, 30 years is calcium, high dose calcium, which I'm not in favor of. They did not mention that magnesium deficiency is associated with mental health symptoms. And I come to that conclusion because of the results of my patients over time and our customers, and the fact that each brain neuron has 2 million mitochondria, and it's in the mitochondria in the cells that energy is made, and energy is ATP-mg. So of course they'll ignore magnesium. And they go on to say mental health conditions represent a significant and growing global health challenge affecting hundreds of millions of people and impacting economies worldwide. In light of this, researchers are exploring a range of strategies to support mental well-being, including nutritional science. So at least they're looking for alternatives. But for all the talk about minerals, they really have to realize that mineral compounds are not absorbed into the cells, mineral ions are. Now that makes me think, when I say nutritional science, yet again, I don't think I said this in my mini rant, that one of the statements that Dr. Marty Makary, the head of the FDA, made, he said that he thought nutritional science was one of the most corrupted, I don't know, I guess departments, or maybe corrupted fields in medicine, one of the most corrupted. Now, he didn't say corrupt. So again, you have to listen to the wording. And corrupted, then he talked about, and I've written about many times, that 50 or more years ago, when research was being done on sugar, and said sugar and refined carbohydrates, but they focused on sugar, is causing heart disease. And the sugar industry said, oh, no, we can't have that. They buried that science, and they put the blame for heart disease on saturated fats. And they said cholesterol is to blame. And that's where everybody's, they stopped eating egg yolks, which are the most important healthy thing in the world. And they made butter into margarine, which we find out is actually way more unhealthy. So they corrupted nutrition by allowing the sugar industry to tell us that, well, we're fine. Sugar's great. You need a lot of sugar. Cholesterol's a problem. So that was what Makary said. And I don't know if people are going to come after him for that, but that was one very good comment that he made. And I'll go to Ginny to find out what she thinks about that. Wasn't that amazing for him to say that? Yep.
Yes. Yeah. It's incredible. Well, there you have it.
Mhm.
I mean,
And
they're
yeah,
exposed to all the information, so hopefully they have some level of expertise in what they're speaking of.
yeah. But right there, that's when the decline in the American diet started,
Yeah.
allowing sugar to, gain access. And now we're finding that, oh no, you need the protein from meat, and the fat that's in the protein, the saturated fats are doing beneficial things. So corrupted for sure. That's
Yeah.
where it's been.
Well, somebody was telling me the other day that there's a very popular series now on Netflix, I guess it is, about the cereal wars and
Mhm.
how Kellogg and Marjorie Merriweather Post got into a big war over who controlled cereal and grain, and how they started pushing it into the diet, and how it started ending up in our food pyramids, and how it was on kitchen tables, and how every kid screams for it. And I mean, it's a total indoctrination.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was part of it where, yeah, they took the fiber and along with that, all the vitamins and minerals out of the grains, and then sugared it and made it, and colored it with coal tar dyes and created this whole industry of crap. Mm, very exciting.
It's exciting, we know it, and we're surviving. Actually, we're thriving. So that's really the exciting part. Can't get me.
Any questions before I dive into the next study?
Bonnie Montgomery's asking, as far as the winter flu thing, about how to keep your sinuses, and maybe she's even talking about nasal passages from drying out in the cold winter months.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so fortunate here. When we lived on the East Coast, it's very difficult. So what you do, I mean, you can do Vaseline, but what I did is I'd get calendula ointment,
Okay.
and with my little baby finger, put some ointment, and then just put it inside your nose.
Okay. Very good. Calendula ointment. There you have it.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Excellent. Let's keep going.
Ask me anything. Ask me. So the next study, Rachel, is metformin for atrial fibrillation.
Oh, wow.
I know. Can an old dog learn new tricks? I hate it when these silly clown researchers try to be funny. And it is funny. I mean, they're trying to repurpose all these drugs, and there's a lot about the side effects of metformin, even though it's been around forever. So anyway, the text says the long approved anti-diabetes therapy metformin may hold promise for reducing the burden of recurrent atrial arrhythmia after catheter ablation in people who are overweight or obese, according to new data. So there we have the restrictions. They want to give a drug to people after they've done this mechanical ablation to prevent the arrhythmia coming back. I guess all I'll say about it, rather than going into some more words here, is this is where they should have had people on intravenous magnesium, or even, I mean, beforehand. These cardiologists should be putting people on our Remag and Pico potassium and see if it's an electrolyte imbalance that's causing the arrhythmia. Instead, they go to the pacemaker in some part of the heart, and they just kill it and expect some other pacemakers to take over because they've killed the one that may be causing the arrhythmia. So it's I don't know. They're just sort of trying all they can to find drugs when we know there are areas they could be looking at, but they're not going to make our global investors any money because they're not patented. The next article, alcohol raises dementia risk at every level of drinking. Now, this is a Joseph Mercola article. You can find the whole article on his site. And I mean, he's going to be, it looks like anti any alcohol, which is, I'm kind of there. I really am. It is poison. And basically, we do know that the alcohol lobby is always supporting studies that say some alcohol is actually good for you. And now this study says that alcohol raises dementia risk at every level of drinking, overturning decades of claims that moderate use protects your brain. And you know, it's interesting going through these studies, because I kind of don't trust anything anymore. I mean, is this true? And they say even light drinking damages neurons, disrupting mitochondrial energy production, accelerating brain aging, showing there's no safe dose for cognitive health. Genetic data revealed that for every measurable increase in alcohol consumption, dementia risk rose by 15%, with the danger extending across all age and ancestry groups. Now, here's where Mercola puts in his bugaboo, because he's very against the linoleic acid and seed oils. So he's saying, so this may be new information, alcohol and linoleic acid from seed oils follow the same toxic pathway in your liver, creating harmful aldehydes that cause mitochondrial damage and fatty liver disease, both of which impair brain function. Reducing or eliminating alcohol and cutting seed oils support liver recovery, restore mitochondrial function, protect long-term brain health. So when I hear about aldehydes, I think about yeast overgrowth and how yeast produces aldehydes. So you could say that yeast overgrowth causes dementia, or even sugar does, because it grows yeast that produces aldehyde, but I'm not going to go that far. So yeah, it's just fascinating. I could take anything. And as I've said before, in junior high school, I was on the debate team, and I would take either one side and then take the other side and win either side, because you can take, information and bubble it up. But in terms of, how people treat their alcohol use, if you do take a real line with every shot. Right, Ginny? Here she comes. She's
That
smiling.
is exactly the conversation on the chat line. I do agree with that. And I was reading an article earlier that said that there are $22 billion of very expensive spirits that are aging around the globe because people are not consuming as much alcohol. So that's good. But I mean, people to each his own, as far as, I mean, anything in excess. But I want to say something about linoleic acid, Carolyn. Have you heard about the Vital Farms outrage?
I don't think so.
Vital Farms eggs. They used to be a consortium of 550 small farms. They got bought by BlackRock and Amazon. They had their food sources switched out for their eggs. It's full of soy. And now their eggs are testing for higher doses of linoleic acid than even what is in canola oil.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, give me some wine and I'll toss out my eggs. I mean, it's crazy. And to your point, if they're all sitting around 120,000 of them in a big room trying to figure out, they're not really concerned about how people are consuming alcohol or not. That what they really want to know is, can we figure out what the mechanism is so they can run in there and get a drug going? That's what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and what happens, I mean, we've seen it, the people that I used to do consulting for in terms of my magnesium expertise, they've been bought out by Clorox, and as soon as they get bought out, the stockholders want a cheaper whatever, so they can get more dividends.
Yeah.
And that's why RNA Reset will never go public,
Yeah.
because as soon as you go public, everything just,
Yeah.
dwindles away. All the beautiful whatever, um, what would be the word when customers follow you, all your positive gains with your customers, they're just lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened, the standard process, they get bought out, then they no longer have organic organ products as far as I've been able to tell. And that's what was important about organ products, is they have to be organic. And I know Charlotte Gerson, I probably still am on the board of the Gerson Institute. She told me that they had to stop using liver tablets and capsules because they couldn't guarantee that they were safe and uncontaminated. And that was back in the day, I think, before they had such rigorous third-party testing, which brings us to sup.co. The reason why we're very involved with sup.co is because we do all the testing that is important. Thank you, Rachel, for knowing whether or not the supplement you're using meets the criteria of, are you tested for heavy metals? Are you even on SUPCO, so that you can be graded for 29 different factors that go into the making and production of dietary supplements that let you have a trust score assigned. And actually, we'll have to change this slide, because our SUPCO score for the whole company is now, what is it, 9.4, Ginny?
Yeah, I think it's 9.42. So we'll have to get that updated.
Yeah.
Abby's on the show, so she'll make a note of that.
Yeah. So this is where, when you look at the marketing of a new dietary supplement, and you can't help that, oh my gosh, it looks like I should take this. This is going to really help me. You go to SUPCO and put that supplement in their bin, and they'll tell you right away. Well, they don't even associate with us, so we don't know what they're doing, and they may not associate, so they don't have to be called out. And you look at a lot of the drugstore dietary supplements, they're measuring down in the 5s and 6s, and you want to be up in the 9s, and that's where we are, and that's where we'll stay.
That's right. We're almost to the end of our show. Let me tell you where to find all of our products, which is at rnareset.com. And you can look for every one of our products on SUPCO and see their magnificent ratings for Remag and Remite and Pico. I mean, they're all on there, and it's just fabulous. Our Dr. Dean's website, drcarolyndean.com, is where you can find all of her content. And we are just about ready to release. I don't know if it came out today, but we're ready to release her learning system, you guys. You're going to be able to take some courses from Dr. Dean. You're going to be able to do some quizzes. You're going to be able to set some goals and have people walk you through and pace you through your New Year's resolutions and other goals. So that's going to be fun. So stand by for that. It's coming any minute now. And then we've also got picopets.com. And, Pico Pets is so important. The reviews are fantastic. It's really starting to pick up, and people are starting to understand that dogs, cats methylate the same way that humans do, and it's going to work for them, and it's going to work for you. So keep it all in the family, including your pets. And absolutely, Supco is the place to make sure you've been recording your stack.
Awesome. Okay. So, did we say everything? What else? Oh, next week, we have a video out because our charity, paragenius.org, we did one of our children's farm tours, and
Oh,
we have a wonderful gentleman who videoed and droned and made a wonderful little documentary. I don't know if we'll be able to play it all, but we'll cut something and play that on the show, because that's what we want to do, is teach the children that the food they're eating doesn't, grow in boxes, and you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
So that'll be something to look forward to next week.
Oh, that's fantastic. Don't forget to like and share this podcast. Thanks again for being here with us. And we will be back next week with more great stuff and Paragenius farm tours and the whole wonderful kit and caboodle, as they say. Bye, guys.
Aloha.
Listening to
Aloha.
Dr. Carolyn Dean, the doctor of the future. Become a member of drcarolyndean.com and get access to all her leading edge of creation information, as well as archives, webinars, and other valuable media resources. Join Dr. Dean and Ginny Almighty same time again next week.